Hi guys, it's Konstantin Bizbikos here with the Biko Institute, looking to share some thoughts. The commonalities that I experience working with all ranges of different types of people when it comes to perspectives and beliefs has led me to create these short videos. Since these beliefs are so common and a lot of times overlooked by many of us, I thought it would be a good idea to shed some light on things that you're already doing in your life and possibly give you an outside perspective. Today's topic is letting go of what you tell yourself, because it's actually not that important. It's funny because we create meaning behind the connections that we make in our minds. But meaning isn't in the stories that we tell ourselves. It's in the things that we do and who we do them with. We can only acknowledge meaning that is already there or just happened. When people try to give meaning or attach themselves to things or experiences that are meaningless, they get caught up into an illusion. This is where conflict arises. They believe that something is meaningful because they've attached themselves to it, when in reality they're looking to satisfy something that is missing within themselves. Now, we can still give meaning to things through our perspectives, but we need to be clear on what that meaning is so that it holds value for us. Sometimes we just connect to things or experiences because we think it's a good idea, but without a clear connection or perspective as to why this thing or experience is so valuable to us, we end up just avoiding what that thing or experience is actually satisfying within us. It might be filling a hole made by loneliness or from emotional pain, so we use it as a distraction or a band-aid. So while we believe that meaning is there, it might just be us attaching to something that is allowing us to avoid parts of ourselves that are too painful to face. When we give too much attention to our stories about ourselves or about a situation, we lose our ability to appreciate that present moment and the joy that comes from it. You see, our stories keep us stuck in the past and prevent us from learning something new that's rich with experience and fun. When you're present, there's a slight curiosity of the next moment that creeps up, that is always followed by a level of fun. It's sort of the perspective that kids have. But we have more experience and knowledge in our minds, so we don't fully want to be like a child, because that would leave us ignorant to what we know about life. But that curiosity and fun that we get from being present is the very joy that adults and children both share when in the present moment and with each other. The average person finds comfort in stories that they tell themselves. When they don't fully understand what is happening around them, or when they're not willing to acknowledge a particular truth, they create stories in order to protect themselves. This is where they'll give meaning to something when there is none there. There's no value. Sometimes the truth can be unexpected and painful and also hard to accept, so avoiding the truth with a believable story that doesn't compromise your emotional stability sounds like a pretty good idea to the unsuspecting conscious mind. Living a life that's not real in terms of what we believe of ourselves and our experiences is what many of us do when it comes to certain areas of our lives. Letting go of what we are telling ourselves means that we accept life exactly as it is. I'm not saying to accept or put up with the stories or false meanings that we tell ourselves, which is what most people do that ends up hardening them. I'm saying accept the truth about yourself if you weren't judging yourself or how you feel about certain things. When we judge, that's where the stories begin. And when we judge ourselves, we end up judging our experience and others as well. The truth is right there always. We just have a habit of making it something that it's not. Remember that. It'll help you get out of your story and into the present moment. When we separate the two, we get access to experiences in our lives that we would have never encountered before. Experiences that are simple, but also put a smile on your face and joy into your hearts. Life isn't as complicated as our minds would like to believe. There can be a lot going on around us, but still be received and processed by our conscious minds as simple and uncomplicated. We just need to be present to how we feel and trust ourselves to know if we need to stay and contribute or to leave and do something else, without getting lost into a story as to why we're doing what we're doing. Just do it. It's okay to make a mistake. In fact, it's a good thing to make mistakes every once in a while. They redirect you for you so that you don't have to think about everything all the time and then still make a mistake. Mistakes are unavoidable. We learn from them. That's what learning is. It's part of our experience. So enjoy them as much as you enjoy the end result, because you couldn't have gotten that result without them. They're as much a part of the conclusion as the conclusion itself. So love it all. When you tell yourself a story that isn't true, on some level you avoid all experiences that might force you to see the truth. This keeps your life limited and also puts you into a state of fear because you're avoiding out of fear. So fear is always lingering around. Most people have no idea that they're creating stories about people and themselves and their experiences. Sometimes it's easier to be ignorant in order to keep your pride intact or to protect yourself from being at fault, which is a big reason why people avoid the truth. The best way to see if you're telling yourself a story is to wait until you get triggered. Then look at how you're reacting to it. Even if it's in your head, ask yourself, what am I telling myself here? What is easier for me to believe right now that might not actually be true? If you come up with a false story, trust that you had a good reason to create it. It's just not serving you anymore. What really helps the subconscious to let that story go is to thank yourself for that story and then say, I let go of what I'm telling myself. This will bring more peace and harmony in your life and in your relationships. So it's okay to be wrong. Everyone is guilty of creating stories that are completely not true. We create them out of fear and from not feeling safe, which everyone can relate to. They all serve the purpose at some point in our lives. So don't judge them and don't judge yourself. Just acknowledge that you're not telling yourself the truth all of the time. It's okay. Everyone you know does it at different times. So get over it and accept it. Whatever the story is not relevant. Don't listen to it. Be present and know that the person that you're interacting with and yourself are both trying to understand each other and filter through each other's stories and beliefs. It's not always easy. If you're triggered, it's because there is something that you're telling yourself that isn't true. Take a step back and look at what's triggering you and why. What's making you feel unsafe or fearful that might be causing aggression or other emotions? What's the story that you're telling yourself? Know that at some point in your life, you created stories in order to protect yourself. And they did. It's your job now to find out what they are, because you don't need that protection anymore. You're older and wiser with more awareness. So use it to see more. These stories that you hold contribute to your overall experience. So when they come up, don't take yourself seriously. Just move on. Come back to them when you feel you're ready to see the truth without being hurt by them. It will come. Just be patient and trust that you can do it. Things are never as bad as we fear they are. Being honest with yourself is always where true freedom lies. If you like today's topic and would like clarification on anything that was talked about, or would like to learn more, you can let me know in the comment section below or email me at business@bicoinstitute.com, and I'll do my best to respond to your questions in upcoming videos. Also, don't forget to click on the subscribe button below the video so you don't miss out on future content. If you want to be notified every time I upload, then click on the bell icon as well. Also, you can stop by my website at bicoinstitute.com and read the articles for that month in the Learning Center under the Articles tab. You can subscribe to our weekly newsletter and follow the Bico Institute on all of our social media platforms. Let's work together to create a better future.